Okay, guys. Sorry about the interruption. We are back. Okay, so yes, we are talking about how to write an irresistible pitch, and we talked. We shared some thoughts in the comment section. People shared their views on what pitching is. Some said it is selling yourself and your business, marketing yourself and your business, and basically it's about selling yourself, marketing yourself, trying to convince someone to buy into what you have to sell. So what you have to sell could be a business idea, it could be a product, or it could be a service. Okay, so it's all about selling yourself, or the business idea you have, or a product or a service. You want to sell something, you want to convince someone to buy into something. So that's what a pitch is. Okay, so before we go forward, I just want to be sure you can see and hear me now. Please let me know in the comment section. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Are we together? Please let me know in the comments. Okay. Treasure says you can see me. Okay. Okay, that's a relief. Okay. Abiodun says, thank you. You can see me. Okay, that's good. So now let's get back into it. Okay. So, like I was saying, I said probably you were thinking, oh, how was she able to convince 31 people to agree to be facilitators for a 1 month academy? How could she pull this off? How did she do it? And like I said, it was no mean feat. It wasn't easy. And amongst many things that I had to do, I had to pitch. Even though I had relationship with some of them before now, I had known them before now, as I still had to sell that idea to them. I still had to convince them that, oh, this is a good idea and it's going to be worth it. Okay, because remember, it's their time, it's their experience, it's their expertise, it's their knowledge. So I have to convince them that doing this with me is going to be worth it. Okay, so now before we go into how I was able to do this and how you can also pitch and pull this kind of thing off, now let's look at the different types of pitch that we have. Because like I was saying, you can pitch either verbally or in written words. You can pitch by speaking to the person, saying it in words, face to face to the person, or you could do that in writing. So now let's go to the different types of pitch. Okay, so there are three different types of pitch, and I guess you already know this. There is the elevator pitch. This one is something that you should already have it at heart. Anytime someone asks you, oh, what do you do, what do you sell, you begin to say, oh, I'm this person, I do this, I'm into this, I do. That's an elevator speech. Being able to sell yourself within 1 minute or less, being able to explain to someone what you do within 1 minute or less, and the person understands, what you said, and is able to close a deal with you on the spot. Now, someone once asked, assuming you are in an elevator with the president. Let's say, for instance, you got stuck in an elevator with the president. Now, that few minutes it would take for your elevator to get down to the floor where you're going to drop off, or where the president is going to drop off. Now, what will you say to that president or to that person within that few minutes that would make that person seal a deal with you immediately? That's what we call an elevator pitch. Now, why do you need an elevator pitch? You may meet someone at an event, at an occasion, and you have to, within that minute, introduce yourself and let the person may not even decide to, at that moment, close a deal and send money to your account, but the person will now make a person's mind and say, oh, whenever I need this person is going to be my go-to person. Whenever I need this service, I am going to reach out to this person. Or, oh, I think I need this person's service. Because the funny thing is, sometimes people may not even know that they need your product or your service, or that they need what you have to offer, until you reach out to them, until you say, oh, my name is this, I'm into this, I do this, we are the best in this. And the person is like, oh, it's true, I have one manuscript that I've dumped for months, for years. I think now I've met you, I think I'll have to go and revisit that manuscript so that you can help me edit it and put it together so I can publish. Now, that is you being able to sell yourself through an elevator pitch. So being able to say who you are, what you do within a few minutes, just 1 minute or less. That is an elevator pitch. Now, pitch deck. We all know what a pitch deck is. You keep hearing of, oh, they want to give grants to entrepreneurs, they want to give grants to young entrepreneurs. You have to pitch your business idea to them. You have to pitch. As long as you're standing in front of a panel, probably a panel of investors, a panel of judges trying to sell your business idea to them, that is a pitch deck. Sometimes they call it investor pitch. That is a pitch deck. You're standing in front of them and you're trying to sell to them that idea, trying to tell them, oh, this my idea is the best in Africa. This my idea is going to sell in Africa. So give me your money. Let me put into my business and run my idea. That is a pitch deck. It's done orally, okay? But now let's go to the third one, cold call. Or you could say cold pitch. And this is the one that I'm going to be focusing on, because this is the one that most of us do or would need to do. So cold pitch, I say cold pitch is like you're disturbing somebody. The person does not need your disturbance. The person is on his own, gently relaxing and sitting for maybe lounging somewhere, having a cool drink, and you go to the person's email, go to the person's DM and be like, oh, I have so and so this thing that you may need, and the person is like, wait, who is this? I don't even need it. I don't need this. How does this person know I need this? So cold pitch is when you're reaching out to someone to try to sell your product or your service. The person didn't request for it. Now, elevator pitch, where I would say elevator pitch is not unsolicited, is because this is like a meet and greet. You're networking with somebody. You see someone at an event, at an event, at a place, or you meet up, and you're trying to say, oh, hi, my name is this is what I'm into. The person saying, hi, my name is this is what I'm into. So that is not unsolicited. The person probably made the first attempt to say hi, or you made an attempt to say hi, but the ambience of the environment, it has already set it that, okay, this is a place for networking. You know you're here to network. You know it's time for networking. Maybe you came for a seminar and they're like, oh, it's breakout section. Oh, it's break time. Say hi to the person next to you, meet someone, mingle with people. So at that point in time, the person's mind is already prepped that, okay, this person is going to try to sell something to me. This person is going to try to sell himself or his product or his service to me. Okay, but with a cold pitch, the person is not expecting it. You are just shooting your shots randomly out of the blues. So, and that's why with this, it may be more difficult to convince people. Oh my God. Like I said, I had a list of like 60 or more people. So you should know how much it took for me to be able to get 31 people, because they are on their own. I didn't pre-inform them that, oh, I'm going to come to pitch this idea to you. We didn't meet somewhere and I introduced myself and said, oh, I'm going to come to your inbox later, or to your DM later, or to your email later to pitch this thing to you. They were not expecting it. I came out of the blues. So with cold call, you have to do more work to be able to convince them to buy into what you are going to sell or what you have to sell. Okay? Let me know if you're following me. Let me know if my pace is too fast or if I have to slow down, please. Let me know if you're following me. Okay, now let's get into it. How do you pitch to someone? How do you present a cold pitch to someone and that convinces the person to buy from you or to buy into your idea? Now, I'm going to first of all address certain things that your pitch should address, because some people, they just come out of the blues. Okay, Abiodun says we are following. Good, thank you. Because some people, they just come out of the blues and they just randomly send a text or send an email. And when you don't get a reply, you're like, oh my God, they didn't read my mail. Or, oh my God, it wasn't good enough. You have to do someone to get that person, do something different to get that person's attention. Remember, the person wasn't expecting that email from you. The person wasn't expecting that DM from you. You came out of the blues. The person probably had things lined up for months or for weeks. And you are coming out of somewhere telling the person, oh, I need a little of your time. Oh, I need you to do this. I need you to pay for this. Oh, I need you to do this with me. So you have to do more than just writing a random article or a random quote or a random this thing and sending to the person. You have to do your homework for that pitch to sell. Okay, thank you, everyone. Amina says she's following. Mrs. Adedelakmo says she's following. Thank you so much. Okay, now let's get into it. Now, there are some questions that your pitch should answer. There are things that should be contained in your pitch. If it's not there in your pitch, then there is something wrong. So let's look at the things that should be contained in your pitch. Okay, now your pitch should be able to answer these questions. First of all, who are you? Now, I keep seeing people write posts lamenting of how people go to their DM and say hi and keep quiet. Like, you just say hi out of the blues and you expect the person to come and respond. Someone that hasn't known you before, someone that hasn't had an engagement with you before, and you expect the person to respond. This is time ticking. And you know what they say, time is money. So you don't expect the person to just come and say hi and respond. You have to have something to say. Introduce yourself. Let the person know who you are. Who are you? Are you a writer? Are you a blogger? Are you an editor? Are you a medical doctor? Are you an accountant? Let that person know who you are. But don't just say, hi, my name is Nancy, I'm a writer. Try to go in depth into it. Now, just imagine you are giving that person an elevator pitch. Will you just say, oh, my name is Nancy, I'm a writer, nice to meet you, who are you? You have to go a bit further to sell yourself. Oh, my name is Nancy. I'm a content writer. I help businesses create content to sell or market their products to clients and all that. So you have to go a bit further to explain, and the person sees and say, "Oh, okay, Nancy, interesting. Let me see what she has to say." Why? Because you've gone further to say who you are. You've gone further to explain to the person who you are. Okay, and now when you've told that person who you are, you don't have to just stop there. Now try to tell them how you found out about them. And I'm going to still elaborate on this in the next slide because I talked about you have to get familiar. So okay, I've introduced myself now. I am Nancy. I am this. I'm into this. Now in the person's mind, the person is wondering, so how can I help you? You're Nancy, and so what next? How can I help you? You have to go a bit further to now talk about the person. Now, one thing I know that I did was that whenever I come to their DMs, because some people I had to reach out to them via DMs. So whenever I come to the DMs, I try to tell them, I try to make hints to how I know them. So I can't just say, oh, my name is okay. Let's say, for instance, I'm reaching out to Mrs. Adelapo now. I can't just come and say, oh, hi, ma, good afternoon. My name is Nancy. I'm a content writer. I help businesses engage with their target audience through authentic content and all that. And then I'll say, oh, I know you. I know you're an editor, and I know you even need my service. No. I have to go personal. I have to show this person that I've taken my time to get to know you. And I know that what I have to sell to you is what you will need. Because the only way that I know that that person needs what I have to offer is that I already know that person. So I know she's an editor. And I know probably she has a lot of work on her desk. So therefore, she needs a virtual assistant. I can't just say, oh, I know you're an editor, and that's why I know that you need a virtual assistant. No, I know you're an editor and you have tons of work to do. I saw I saw from your post that you're currently working on this person's book, and you've worked for several thought leaders and all that. And I know you must have a busy schedule, and that is why I'm here to present or to offer you two and so services. You have to show that person that you know a little about the person. Now, even in writing cover letters for your CVs, when you apply for a job, they will tell you have to hint that you know a bit about the organization. Imagine coming to an interview and they ask you something about the organization and you have no idea. So how do you know where they need your service? How do you know that they need the services of a blogger in their industry? Oh, the fact that they published it or that they advertise it is not enough. You should show them that, oh, I noticed that people have a website and you don't post consistently on your website. So I know that you need the services of a blogger to manage your website and provide 3 contents daily on your website. That is you going further to show that, oh, I've taken my time to study you and I've seen your pain points and I know that this is really what you need. So you have to take your time to tell them how you found out about them. Even in interviews, they will ask you, how did you find out about this advert, or how did you find out about this job advert? You could say, oh, if I found out through social media, a friend sent it to me. Let them know how you found out about them. So for some of them, I would say that I've been following them on social media for a while and I enjoy their content and I know they're into this and they're into that. You have to establish a background. So that they would know that this person actually knows me. Something happened. One of the participants asked the question in my DM. She came to my DM to ask a question, and I responded referring to her by a term that only people who know her knows that term. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, she knows me." I could have just say, "Oh, hi ma, hi sir," or this, but I went further to show this person that I know you, I know you know you. So that is one thing you should do when you're trying to present a pitch. Now, how can you help them? This is your time to shoot your shots. How can you help them? What do you have to offer? And now let me address something here. This is a mistake some people make. When you want to tell them how you can help them, don't go selling everything at the same time. Yes, you're a writer that does web content, you do social media content, you edit books, you write books. Don't go tell them that you do this. Please be specific with that particular thing you're trying to sell. You could be an accountant who does accounting services for big firms, small firms, for personal brands, but that person is a personal brand. So your pitch should be focused on how you've been helping personal brands do their accounting for their business. Don't go telling them, "Oh, I do this for this." Your pitch should be focused on that person's niche. So yes, I am a writer who does content writing, I do copywriting, I do transcribing, I do editing. But this person now, I'm trying to offer this person my content writing services. So what I'm going to focus on is content writing. I won't go saying, "Oh, I do this, I do this, I do this." I will say I'm a writer who provides content for businesses to help them engage their target audience and sell their value proposition. I am going to be specific with what I'm trying to say. So how can you help them? Go straight up and tell them how you can help them through that service, through that idea, through that product you're trying to sell to them. And it doesn't just stop there. Why then are you the man for the job? Excuse me, you're not the only writer they know. You're not the only writer. You're probably not the only person that has come to their DM to sell that pitch to them. You're not the only person who has come to the who has sent an email to them saying, "Oh, we have this for you. We know you need this. You know." They probably have had that particular day. They've probably received like 5 pitches that day. So you need to say something that makes you stand out of the box. So what makes you the man for the job? What makes you the person that, "Oh, out of all these people, I know you've probably received thousands of pitches today. I know you probably received like 10 pitches from people today, but I am the person for this job. I'm the person that's going to help you get this thing done." This is your time to establish your credibility, which I'm still going to go into. And while you're trying to prove to them that you're the man for the job, tell them what the stakes are. What do they get to benefit from this? Yes, I've told you I'm going to help you create content for your business. Yes, I've told you that I'm the man for the job because I have done this thing for so and so brand and I help them to make so and so sales in 1 month. But then narrow it down to them. What are the specific advantages they are going to get? What are the specific advantage or the specific importance that your idea will bring to them? That is where you now tell them, "Oh, with this my idea or with this my content package, you're going to make 10 million in 1 month. You're going to get so and so number of followers in 1 week." You narrow it down. Tell them what the stakes are. Tell them what they stand to gain. And if there are terms and conditions of that contract or of that agreement or of that idea you're trying to sell to them, that is the time you have to say it as well. Don't go misleading them into buying into something and then along the line they're not seeing elements of it that you did not say initially, and they're now wondering, "Oh, this was not what I signed up for. This was not what I bargained for." When you're trying to give them the stakes, show them everything. Show them the good side of it. Show them the terms, the conditions that comes with it. Okay? So now, when you're trying to answer these questions, there are specific things you need to do to ensure that you answer these questions properly. So let's get into that. Okay, so one of the things you have to do is to use a killer headline. Now, this applies if you're writing emails. So when I was pitching to facilitators to be facilitators for this academy, I didn't send emails. most of the conversation started from DMs, and then I subsequently had to send an email to them. But imagine that my first contact with them was via an email. I have to use a headline that is going to grab their attention. Because just like I said, you're not the only one sending a pitch to them. Several people are sending pitches to them. And probably they get tons of emails in a day. In this age of email marketing, they're probably subscribed to 101,000 email marketers and all that. And they keep getting email from this place, email from that place. So what should now make them to stop while they're scrolling through their phone, to stop and now look at your own and say, oh, this person has something to say. Let me look at what this person has to say. You have to use a catchy headline or a catchy subject line. You can call it a subject line if you're using an email. Use something that will grab their attention. Don't just come and say, come and say invitation to teach in my academy. No, don't just come and say request. For instance, you're trying to pitch your article to a blog. To post your article on their blog. Don't just come and say request to publish my article. No, do something out of the box. Do something that would grab their attention. Okay, don't just say things like which other kind of boring this thing will I use as an example now? Don't just come and tell them get blogging application. No. You have to do something that is going to grab their attention. Now, imagine, have you ever seen headlines, articles, or emails that say things like, "You're losing tons of money by doing this, and I'm here to help you do it right." By the time you see the person saying you're losing tons of money doing this, I'm already wondering, who are you to tell me that I'm losing tons of money? Who is this one? That person has grabbed my attention, like it or not. It may not be what I want to hear, but the person has grabbed my attention. The person will now look down to say, what is this person trying to say? What does this person have to say? Or you could use an example of, if you've been doing this, you're getting it wrong, and I'm here to show you the right way to do it. It doesn't have to be this long, but it has to be something out of the box. Even, let's say, for instance, it's an article you're trying to sell to them. Now, the best thing you should do is to use the headline of that article, and make sure that the headline of your article is actually eye-catchy. If you're going to use your article, you could say, yes, video marketing is the in thing, and here's why, and that's what your article is about. And you're like, oh, okay, let me see what this person has to say. Now, this is out of the box compared to you using the random headline, invitation to be a guest at my this thing, application to post my article in your website. You're trying to catch their attention, so you have to use something that is out of the box. Now, another thing I advise people to do is to get familiar. Get familiar. Let them get to know them before time. Getting familiar is not just you going to go and research about them and saying, oh, this is this person's company, they do this, they do that. Before you run that pitch, why not try to let that person know you? There is social media. Almost everybody is on social media. What stops you from reaching out to that person on social media? Person probably posts content every day, or probably 3 times a week, or 3 times in a month. Those few times the person posts, why don't you engage on the person's content? That's a way to get the person to notice you. I call this foreplay. So you want something, but you start building a relationship so that it's easy for you to get a yes when you finally make your request. So they make a post, engage in their post. I'm not saying you should do what people usually do. You now go one day, you like everything, everything, you like it one day. Or you then go commenting, thank you for sharing, great, apt, nice post. If you're going to do this, you have to do it the right way. If you're going to engage on their post, you have to show them that you actually read it. If you watch the teaching by Gloria Abba on Tuesday, the lady who taught on writing relatable stories that readers would love. Now, she talked about someone who shared a review of her book, and she knew the person read the book because the person was specific with the person's review. The person just didn't come just to say, oh, nice book, I enjoyed reading your book, it was nice. The person was specific with the review he or she gave, which made her realize, oh, this person actually read my book. So if you're going to comment on their post, be specific. Be specific. You may even have to say, oh, in this line you mentioned this in this line, or what struck me was what you said in this line, and yes, you were right, this is what happens these days. Be specific. Let them know that this person actually reads my post too. This person doesn't just come to scroll and like and say nice, oh, thank you for sharing, oh, I got value. Please be specific. And you don't have to go doing it all at once. You go and like the person's post at once, everything at the same time. It reeks of desperation. That's when be like, who is this one? Try to engage. Try to engage. Another thing you can do to get familiar is try to also buy into what they have to sell. Don't be someone that just wants to take and take and take. You're just the one at the receiving end. If you want to take, if you want to receive from someone, you also have to be willing to give. So this person you're trying to say, oh, I have something for you. I want you to patronize my services. Oh, I have an event. I want you to be a speaker at my event. Oh, I have this. Have you ever, for once, bought what that person has to sell? I know one of the facilitators, when I was introducing myself, I had to be specific about how I've bought some of the courses this person has sold before, how I've attended some of the trainings this person has attended before. And the person was like, oh my God, so not be today thing. Oh, this girl has been on my tray for a long time. And that's a way to warm yourself into their hearts. That's applying emotional triggers. So you've warmed your way into their hearts with that. So this person is selling a course, an ebook. The person has a training. You don't even you don't even bother to buy their courses, or you don't even bother to attend their training. And you want that you come out of the blues one day and just tell them, oh, I have something I'm doing and I want you to be part of it, and you tell them to say yes. It may work, but it won't work every time. And it will be easier for you if you're able to establish that familiarity ahead of time. And please, when you buy the course or when you attend their training, don't just stop there. Be active in participating. Don't just buy training, you don't comment, you don't engage, you don't do anything. You just bought training and you went and slept. You bought course and you just went back to your bed. No, engage. Let this person, you have something, you want to get something, right? Remember, you're trying to shoot your shot, so you have to make sure the person let them take notice of you, let them notice you. Like now, Amina has been in this class from the very first day. At least now I know her name. If somebody asks me who was the most active participant, I will say Amina, I will say Treasure, I will say Emmanuel, I will say Biodun, because these are people I keep seeing them. Now imagine if they have something to offer me. By the time they come to my day, I'm like, oh, is Amina? Oh, is this person? Oh, is Treasure? Then you are not in the class at all through the 31 days. I don't see your face, I don't see your comment, I don't see anything. And you come and you're telling me I was a participant in your academy. I'm like, okay. Because I can't remember. I can't remember seeing you. But when you pay for their training, engage, comment, ask questions, let them know, let them say, oh, who is this girl that has been here since day one? Or who is this person that has been here since day one? So that when you come to the inbox to say, sir, I need to come this thing, I need this thing, they're like, okay, oh, is Nancy now? Is this person now? I remember many of them who said to me, oh, Nancy is you now, anything for Nancy, anything for you, because I had established that relationship ahead of time. I got familiar. Who is saying, please remember me, yo? I can't see your name. Please give Shumia permission to show your name. Give Shumia permission to show your name. So now, if you buy their book, please send them a review of the book. This thing is not just about pitching. This is going to also help you in building relationships. You bought their book. You bought the book. You packed it in your shelf. That's the end of story. Read the book and send them a review. Let them know, oh, I bought your book, I read the book, and the person will be like, oh my God, you actually read it. Because let me tell you, not everybody who buys your book reads it too. So people, I used to say, some people buying a book is like a new toy. You fantasize over the toy. Oh my God, I just got a new book. And that's the end of it. They don't open, they don't read it. Like some people who just got the copy of, who just got. Chiwago said ghost members. Yes, ghost members. They just they buy and you don't see them again. And then they come out of the business and tell you, oh, I bought your book. The book you sold that time I bought. And you're like, you bought my book. I didn't know. So that's the thing. Now, and I know some people who got a copy of Write Like a Boss and the Smart Writers handbook. I know some of them will open it. I know some will not send review later on. And when you come and say, oh, I bought your book, they will not even know. Because I mentioned in my book how I wanted to work with a blogger. And I had taken my time to study her for a while. Take my time to study this blog, study him for a while. Take my time to study this blogger for a while. And I met this blogger at a physical event. But then I was too shy. I'm an introvert, to forget that I'm showing my face here. I was too shy to go introduce myself. So, but then what I couldn't do physically, I had to now on social media. You know what they say about keyboard warriors. We stay behind our keyboards and we are typing, but physically when you see us, we are shy people. So what I couldn't do in person, I had to establish a relationship via social media. And so when I now went to shoot my shot, I could say, oh, I first met you here, and then a person was like, oh, you were at this event. So please get familiar. If, oh my God, if you want them to actually buy into what you want, let them, like, show them that you really know their business. You can't come and be selling a solution to me and you're telling me, I know you need this. How do you know I need this? If you come and tell me that, oh, I've noticed that your website was developed with this, and I think this software will be better, I'm like, show them that you know their industry, that you know their business. I made a post yesterday and I was saying that if you're going to sell to businesses, show that your client that business, you know their industry, you know their customers, and you know what they need. That will convince them that you actually know your onions, that you've actually got this, you actually the man for the job. Because aside from being an expert in your industry, you know them. Remember, everybody is different. Everybody is unique. Every client is unique. Every individual is unique. You need to show them that, oh, I'm not just selling something generic to you. I'm not just trying to pitch to you something that is a general thing, something I send to everybody. I'm trying to show you that I know you, I know your business, and I know what you need. Okay, so get familiar. Now, let's go to the next thing. So, get familiar, establish your credibility. Now, when you get familiar, you have to establish your credibility. So I know some of you know Nigeria Brand Chick. So Nigeria Brand Chick was talking about how someone in a course she did recently, she was talking about how someone wanted to pitch to her social media management. The person came to her DM and was like, oh, I'm a social media manager. I need you to I would like to manage your account, this, that. And she was like, she went and checked the person's Instagram page, and the person didn't have much followers. And she's like, okay, how would this person be able to pull this up for me? But then when the person got her was when the person said, oh, I've done this for so and so people, you can check out their page, this is her selling her market. She established her credibility. So when you've introduced yourself, you've shown them that I know you, that like this thing is not, it's now I know you. Now you have to show them that no, I don't just know you, but I know my game, I know my business, I know this thing, I know this, I know I have it at the tips of my finger. So how do you establish credibility? So how do you establish credibility? Now, the first point I wrote here is add relevant samples to your work. But before you even add relevant samples to your work, you need to highlight success cases. You need to show this person, I've done this for this person, and this person got so and so results. oh, I did this for this brand and they got so and so results. And they're like, oh, if she was able to do this for Mr. A and they got this result, which means she can even do more for me. She would only repeat that result or repeat that process. She would even do extra for me. So don't just come and tell them, I'm into this, I do this. Show me that you've really done this thing before. It's not a case of I can do it. I want to know that you can actually do it. Someone said, don't just come and tell me I can do it. Show me that you've done it before. And that's what they want. Show me that you've done it before. Give them examples of people that you've done it for and it turned out well. Give them examples of your success stories. Examples of brands that you've done that thing before and it turned out well. So that they know that, oh, I can actually leave my money with this person and go to sleep and she'll give me the results that I need. Another thing you have to do is to know your numbers. You have to know your numbers to show your numbers. So if you're saying, yes, so I manage social media accounts for so and so brand, for Mr. 𝗪𝗥𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗜𝗕 online shop, and they got many followers. Many followers. Please give it to me in numbers. How many? What's the insights? If you're saying engagement, give me the insights, give me percentage. I want to hear it in numbers. When I was reaching out to facilitators to pitch to them this idea, I had to tell them that I had to tell them, give them the specific number of participants we were expecting. I didn't just say, oh, we're expecting many numbers, or we're expecting many participants, we're expecting many people to register or to participate. I had to show them that I know my numbers. And this is how I'm going to work to get that numbers. So you have to know your numbers. If you've done things for a client before, if you've written a book for a client and you're like, oh, I wrote a book for this person and this person sold many copies. How many copies? Tell me. Give it to me in numbers. Tell me how many copies. Oh, I've transcribed many videos since I started writing. How many videos have you transcribed? They want numbers. Because the numbers shows them, one thing that numbers does is specificity. It shows them that this is specific. And being specific shows that, oh, this thing is likely to be true. Than you being vague. If you say we did it for many people, you're being vague. Oh, they had many followers, you're being vague. And and being vague means that you're trying to hide something. It means that there's something she's not telling us. So there's something this person is not telling us. But when you give numbers, this is like, okay, she knows what she's doing. She knows her numbers. She's got this. So if I'm telling people now that, oh, we had many participants in this academy, probably I'm trying to host another one. I'm telling them, oh, I've done this before, and I had many participants in this academy. Which one do you think will sell more if I tell them that we had 100 and so number of participants in the academy? That's showing you that this person is specific. They actually had, and the good thing is that when they go to check and they see that exact number, they're like, oh, she was actually honest about her numbers. Okay, Toby asked the question. Okay, I'm seeing your questions. I'm going to address the questions after this. Okay. Yes, show your numbers. Show your numbers is the being specific. And please use name dropping. Let me tell you, name dropping, they work. If you've worked with the president of the United States before, tell them you've worked with the president of the United States. Have you not seen people that will tell you that they've written articles for Bella Nigeria? That does not mean that they've not written articles for other small blogs. So, but they know that name dropping works. So if you worked with someone big in the industry, please, I know that you love the work you did with the other person that has a small shop in your compound. I know you enjoy the work you did for your neighbor, but please, the one that is going to sell is that big name. Because in their minds, if she has worked with this big person, then it means that she's the right person for me. So before we started advertising the academy, some people reached out to me asking that they wanted to pay for my my writing course and all that, and I was like, well, instead of paying this for just 1 day or 2 days or few hours of training? Why don't you pay for this? That we and what I now did was to now drop names. We have so people who are going to be teaching in the academy, and I remember the reaction of one person. Person was like, "Oh my god, if you have these people coming to the academy, you have 𝗪𝗥𝗧𝗘, you have Steven, it must be so expensive. Oh, hey, can I afford it?" And by the time I said, "No, it's just so and so naira," and the person was like, "Oh my god," person paid immediately. That is how name dropping works. I'm showing you what I used, and it's not something that someone else is. I'm giving you examples of what I did that worked for me. Use name dropping. Name dropping works. If you work with someone big, drop it down. I did a project with Enugu State SME Agency during the lockdown last year. I trained, I was recruited, or I had a contract with them to train small business entrepreneurs. And recently, I was applying for something which I wouldn't mention now. I was applying for something recently, and I had to mention it. I had to say, "Oh, that I did so and so thing for Enugu SME Agency where we trained so and so number." I was specific with the number. And trust me, it works. It shows them that this person is an expert. This person has been in the game long enough, and this person got it. This person has it all figured out. This person knows what she's doing. Okay, Grace says, "I joined because I saw Lamide Johnson and 𝗪𝗥𝗥𝗧𝗘." I know. I know many people joined because they saw people that they didn't expect they would learn from. And someone came to my inbox saying, "Oh, I have always wanted to learn from these people, and now I have the opportunity to learn from them at this affordable rate." I mean, that Grace says, "Name dropping they work. It they work." Flaunt the big names you've worked with. Exactly. Flaunt the big names that you've worked with. And then you can now include relevant samples of the work you've done. That's even a way to match up what you've said. Yes, you've dropped your numbers. Yes, you've dropped the big names. Yes, you've highlighted your success rates or your success cases. Now it's time for you. You could share links. If it's something that is shareable, probably it's something that there is a website to it, or you get something that there is a place that they can actually see proof of that thing you're saying. Please share it with them. If you need to share links to your portfolio where you mention that, or probably a portfolio where they shared reviews, probably those people wrote reviews for you after you did that job for them, please share links to it. Anything that would sell you. Share links to your portfolio, share links to reviews they wrote about you, share links to samples of the work you did for them, so that they will know that, oh, this person really, really has it all together. So now let's go back. So this is you establishing your credibility. This is you. So it's not next time you now go and say, "Oh God," and there's this thing people do a lot. You now come and say hi and say, "Please, I am this so and so person. Please, this is my first time. Can you please?" Don't go begging. Don't go begging then. Don't present yourself as a pity case. Remember, you're a professional and you have to do things professionally. Assuming I went down and said, "Please, this is my first time doing this. Please, they won't even listen to me. They'll be like, one of all these social media beggars in here, they've come again." You have to do professional. Show them that, see, I came here for business. I came with a business proposition. I'm not here for I didn't come to play. You have to treat it as business. So now let's go back to what I was saying about how you can make your pitch to be convincing. Okay, so back to this, how to make your pitch more convincing. I've already said you should use killer headlines. I've said you should get familiar with them. I've said you should establish your credibility. And I've even said this before, you have to be specific, please. Even if your business have 1 million products, please be specific with that particular one you want to sell to the person. Be specific with that one. Grab that one first. See, when I wanted to do this, there were some people that I wanted them to be advanced readers for my books. Advanced readers are people who read your book before it is released. They read your book and they write a review before it's released. Now, there were some of the facilitators, especially those who I already had a relationship with, whom I wanted to write a review for my book and as well as be facilitators for this academy. But I didn't go selling everything to them at the same time. I didn't go pitching everything to them at the same time. I was specific. I went the first time with this request. And some of them were like, oh, Nancy, I would have loved to do this for you, but I don't have the time now to read the book. I can't do this now. I'm like, I now debated, okay, since this wouldn't work, let's try this. And one of them who didn't have the time to read my book and give me a review before the release, I accepted to be a facilitator. And the good thing is that the person still got a copy of the book and still wrote the review. That's after the release. So please be specific. You may want 101 things, but please say just there's this thing they call in economics. If you remember economics back in school, there's this thing called scale of preference. You need to have a scale of preference. Okay, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. But among these 5 things, which is more important to me? Which one do I really need from this person? Because remember, you don't want to be asking for too much, especially if you've not established a relationship with this person before. You can't you're engaging with this person for the first time and tell the person, please, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Be specific. Choose a battle. They will say, choose your battle. Choose a particular battle. Choose a particular race. Choose one thing and pursue that thing. And then this number 5 is for people who are pitching for guest blogging positions with a blog. Now, if that is what you're trying to do, please adhere to their submission guidelines. You want to pitch to have your article or whatever you've written published on a blog. Please check that blog. Remember what we say about getting familiar. Get familiar with the blog. Get familiar with the blog. Go through their website and check if you would see anywhere where they have instructions of how to submit a pitch or an article to them, and adhere to that guideline. If they say they don't want article of 1,000 words, don't gonna write article of 1,000 words. If they say they want article of only 500 words, please stick to it. If they say they want funny articles, stick to it. If they say stick to the guideline, stick to the guideline. Stick to the guideline. And then when you've done everything, when you have everything in place, when you have everything in check, then add your call to action. Call to action is you now. So they've read they've read you. You now imagine that they've read your pitch from start to finish. So what's next? Okay. You have to say something to prompt them to take actions faster. You have to say something to make them take actions faster. You could say, oh, they can reach you, or so and so, they can reach you through these. Tell them what next to do. If you're interested in this, how they can reach you. Or you even tell them that, oh, you will be sending a follow-up mail in so and so days or in so and so weeks. So that the conversation, you don't just put a full stop to the conversation, if you understand what I mean. You don't just put a full stop. You're trying to make it a you are trying to bring a continuity to that conversation. So if you've told them that you would be expecting, you look forward to their response, they already know that, oh, I need to respond to this person. Even if I'm telling them no, I need to say something so that the person knows that, oh, I either saw your pitch and I liked it, or I saw your pitch, I didn't like it. You were telling them, oh, that you're going to follow up on this pitch in a few days' time, in 5 days' time. Now, when they now see your follow-up pitch, they won't be surprised. They will be like, oh, she said she's going to follow up. Probably when she follows up, we'll now take it up from there. Or if you say, oh, they could reach you through so and so means, they now know that they can give you the response they have for you through that means. That way, you've not just ended that conversation. There is room for continuity. And the good thing about that follow-up is that it gives you opportunity to further convince them. And back to this, I want to say something which is probably out of this, because I know that we are all business people, whether you're a writer, whether it's products or service you're selling. This brings me to say that follow-up is important. even when you're selling, even if it's not a pitch, you're selling to someone, the person showed interest. And this thing of people keep saying, when people tell you, I will get back to you. when they say I will get back to you, I will get back to you is like a polite way of saying no, I don't need this, or no, I can't afford this. It's just a polite way of dismissing you. Now, one good thing you could do is like, oh, okay, should I follow up on this? Should I reach out to you in so and so time? When they've told you that I will get back to you, it's not left for you to tell them, okay, can I send you a message in in a few weeks time, or should I? You get that? I once reached out to our Instagram vendor, and after she said we engaged, I was like, okay, I will get back to you on this. She then said, okay, that she was not. She then said, okay, can I send you a follow up message? So can I reach out to you? And I was like, So this one is that so I cannot run away. You really want to trap me? So that's the thing about following up. Always follow up people. You send a pitch, follow up that pitch. You're trying to sell something to somebody. Always follow up, because follow up works. Okay, it's good. Probably the person didn't have in mind to buy it the first time you pitch to the person. Following up gives you room to further convince that person. That's your opportunity to now seal that deal and get what you want. Okay, so yeah, this is a very short class. I would have loved to show us examples and more and all that, but you know that this was in a very short notice. Okay, so now I'm going to take our questions. I'm going to take our questions to address any questions that you have at this point. And I remember Toby asked a question earlier. Okay, so guys, if you have questions, please drop your questions and I'm going to attend to them. I'm going to address your questions. So Toby says, when you haven't worked with anyone before and they are the first, how do you go about it? Okay, so now I understand it, because at this point, some things are now working against you. One, you don't have successful cases to show. Two, you don't have probably numbers to brag with. Now, the thing you can do here to sell yourself is to now prove to the person that you know the person's business, you know the person's industry, and you've got the solution to that. That this and this is what you're going to do to give that person the solution the person needs. So in a case whereby you don't have previous case studies to show, you don't have relevant samples to show, you don't have big names to drop, you don't have numbers to show, that's now a room for you to actually exhibit your expertise. That is where you have to leverage on that getting familiar and establishing your expertise by telling them, oh, I know your business, oh, I know your industry, I know this is a challenge you've been having for the past few weeks or for the past few months or since the lockdown, since the pandemic, and this is what I am going to do. Show them the step by step. This is what I'm going to do to help you get the results that you need. So does any other person have any question? Any other question? No question in the comments? Yes, Amina says there must be something you have to show. Exactly, there must be something you have to show. If you don't have numbers to show, if you don't have previous works to show, that's your time to show the person that, see, I can do this thing for you. This is how I know if you have this problem. This is how I'm going to do it. I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this, and I'll get you so and so results. And that's the thing, be specific with the results you intend to get for them. And I'll get you so and so results within so and so time. Be specific with the timeline of the results you're going to get them. But please don't go over promising. Don't go bragging and saying you're going to do something you know you cannot do. Please don't over promise. A friend would say, under promise and over deliver. Don't go over promising. Don't go say, oh, I'm going to give you the whole world within one day, and you end up not doing it. Please, in your bid to show that you can do it, don't exaggerate. Don't exaggerate. Okay, so Grace is asking, how do you get people to drop reviews willingly? Okay. How do you get people to drop reviews willingly? This is even something that I'm even in now, because any good people, Not everybody that got their books in Enugu have sent me pictures or reviews. Okay, now if it's for a book, I know one thing that I did was to talk about it in my book. So if you go to the last chapter, to the last pages of Write Like a Boss, you will see where I talked about it. Oh, did you enjoy this book? If you enjoy this book, do this, do this. You can share a review here, 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 and here with so and so hashtag. You have to tell them. You just have to keep asking for it. You just have to keep asking for it. And the good thing is that if you wrote a good book, people will be more willing to share their review. If your book is good, people will be more willing to share their review. So what you have to do is to ask. Like I'm still asking. Please, if you get your book, people outside Enugu, if you get your books, please take a fine picture with it. Show us your face. Take a fine picture with the books and send it to me and share your review when you're done reading. You just have to keep asking people for the review. You just have to keep asking them for that. Even before even when we're trying to when we're planning for this program, I had to reach out to students that I've taught before, like my previous students, people that I've trained before, for them to give me a review. And the good thing was because the training was good, they were willing to give me the review. Some of them I just sent them a message like tonight, and the next morning they have sent the review. The good thing is that if you could do a good job, they'll be more willing. They'll be more. Imagine if the training they have with me was a bit gibberish. If it was bad, they'll be like, she has come to collect review when what she taught me it didn't even work. They were willing to give reviews because what I taught them worked, or what I gave them was good. So if you write a good book, people will be willing to give you a review. And that's the thing, you have to keep asking. You just have to keep asking. And sometimes, even when they give you the review is vague. They'll be like, oh, nice book, I enjoyed the book. It is now your job to probe further, to get the words out. Because another thing is that some people are not very good in expressing themselves. So you have to probe further to get them to explain. Be like, oh, is this what we are trying to say? Or, okay, it was nice. In what way? Oh, you enjoyed it. Like, you enjoyed it. So what was the striking thing for you? Or what was the best chapter? What chapter did you enjoy the most? You have to probe further to get that detailed review that you need. Amina says, this is a case of ask and you receive. Yes, so it's a case of ask and you receive. Just as like at the end of this academy now, I will still be asking people at the end of the academy, share your review. And it will still be a case of ask and you will receive. You just have to keep asking people. Yeah, you just have to keep asking people. Yes, remove the shame and ask for review. Remove the shame and ask. And the last two pages of my book, I said it there. Did you enjoy this book? Give me your review. Post it here. Use this hashtag. Ask for it. You did a good job, and it's worth the review. Grace says shy people like us have to learn. Yes, we have to learn. Me, I'm an introvert, but I had to learn, and we're still learning. So any other question? I tried to make this class as simple and explanatory as possible. So I'm sure it's very clear you all understood everything. So if there are no more questions, I beg to take my leave. Any other question? Okay, I guess we're done here. Okay, thank you guys for joining me tonight. Thank you everyone who keeps participating. Oh, Treasure says, thank you for this class. Now I know how to pitch perfectly. You're welcome. I'm glad you've learned it now. Yeah. And that was why I used my own experience as examples. I didn't want to say something that was abstract. Something I've done, I'm using it as a case study for you. So yes, so this is where we'll come to the end of today's class. I'm sure that after this, you'll be able to pitch yourself better. Whether this also helps you, even if it's going to be an oral pitch. It also helps you. You will know, oh, after saying this, I should say this. After saying this, I should say this. This is what I should say to get this person to buy what I'm trying to sell to the person. Okay. If for this question you're asking is not for this class, this question you're asking is not for this class. But yes, your books are on the way. Some people have already received emails, some people have received texts tracking the transit of their books from Enugu to their location. The books have already left Enugu. So yes. Amina says, thank you, Nancy. I enjoyed it and learned new things. Yeah, you're welcome. Abiadon says just perfect. Yes. Facebook user. Who is Facebook user? Please give StreamYard permission to show me your name. Facebook user says, thank you, Nancy. That was a good one. You're welcome. Ifema says, I understood better. Thanks, ma'am. You're welcome. So thank you guys for joining me. This is where I'll come to the end of today's class. Tomorrow we'll be having another facilitator. And this time, nothing can happen. Nothing will stop it from happening. We cancel every emergency and every unforeseen circumstances. So our next class is tomorrow with Juliet. Okay, Juliet will be teaching us how to write stories that convert. How do you write stories that can help you to sell? So you don't want to miss that class. The class was supposed to be by 8:30, but please, the class has been moved to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So she didn't want to have to cancel because of her schedule. So it's going to be by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Please take note of that. I'm still going to announce that in the group. Emmanuel says, that was a great one. Thank you so much. You're welcome. So, guys, this is where I'll call it a day. Thank you for joining me and have a good night's rest. Bye.